Alright, so let's come back to our second session A1 that we are going to study about grammar collective history in the second session, right? However, the unit 10 of our lesson has finished according to your work that you have done or assigned by me. And today we are going to continue in the next unit as tackled unit 11. He was always chased by a dog. Okay, right. So in here it means that it's going to talk about the passive form. Okay, so passive form and also meaning. So everyone, let's look at the board together that I'm going to explain to you about each point, right? Okay. So in active sentence, the subject does the actions. In passive sentence, the actions is done by the subject. Okay, right. And then from the passive with be plus participle plus with the word by. Okay, right. So in here, I believe that everyone has known about the way or the tip of changing from active voice to the passive voice. Because of what, as I remember in our Hangout 6, I used to teach you about this one as well, right? So I believe that everyone has known about this one quickly and also clearly about each part of the the passive statement. Okay, so likely here it is going to be talking about an example like active. I said that a dog chased my cat. Okay, however, it means passive. It is my cat was chased by a dog. So according to our definition or according to our meaning, it means that, okay, right. So if it is talking about the active sentence, it is going to talk about the subject of the action. So what the dog is going to chase, okay, it chased a cat or chased my cat. So that's why it's talking about the activity is already shown by the subjects that do the action to the objects, right? Okay, and then okay. When it is going to be passive, instead of passive, the action is done to the objects or to the subjects, right? So, who was chased? Right, the dogs, right? The dog got chased from the dog. Sorry, my cat got chased from a dog. So, in this activity, it meant that the subject doesn't do any activity, right? But the subject is the one who receives any activity from the objects. So that's why the action of the object has done to the subjects. So according to our definition, it means that it has been done, okay, by the object, and the subject is the one who receives the activity. Okay, right. So in here, if you want to remain short, you can say that active voice refers to the subject is the doer. Okay, passive voice the subject is the receiver. So when the sentence is talking about the subject and verb do along together to this object, we call this one is active voice or active sentence. However, when it's a passive sentence, it focuses that when the subject receives any other activity from the object, so it receives from any object that object and verb come along with together in order to do the action to the object, right? Okay, lately I can say that I take the blue marker one and also the red marker. Okay, I take on the blue marker fight the red marker. So that's why I mean that blue marker is the subject that is going to be talking about the active sentence because of what it is the subject and do the action to the object, right? Okay. When I want to use it as passive, I also take the blue one. The blue fight here the same, right? But I will use sentence that the red marker is fought by the blue marker. So what is it? The problem is that what is going on? Right, the red marker is functional subjects and then receive activity from the object of the blue marker. So what was blue marker doing? Fighting, right? Okay, so this is the activity that's going to talk about the active and passive statement or passive sentence that have to be recognized and known in each sentences, right? So right now, everyone, let's move back to our point. If you have any question, you can drop your question in the groups, okay? And every answer will respond to all of you as well. Okay, so in passive sentence, it must be formed by be plus participle. So be, everyone, you know that be is talking about to be, I miss our was were like that, okay? So when you see this one is plus with verb 3 or verb participle, it is called that it is a passive sentence, okay? Right. So right now, in order to make sure that you understand it or not, I am going to move on with only one practice in section A altogether, right? So section A, I would like you to open here and you are going to see here, like choose A for active or P for passive. Underline the verbs, okay, in the passive sentences. right? So in here, it means that if it is a passive sentence, you have to underline, but not passive, no need to underline. Okay, right? So right now, let's go move to our number one that has already given you the example. That number one is letter P, right? It is a passive statement or passive sentence. Right now, let's move to number C. Number two. That people are dancing to music. Is it active or passive? Very good job, right? So number two is an active. Okay. And then number three, our names were called by Mr. Green. Is it passive, active one? Very good, right? It is a passive. Okay. And then number four, my classroom door was open. Passive, active one. Great, right? So number four is an active. And then the box was mailed 5 days ago. Is it the passive, active one? Very good, right? So number five is passive. And after number five is number six. You were crossing the street. Passive, active. Right, okay, letter A, right? Okay, number seven, the 10 points were scored by our team. A or P? Very good, right? Letter P. And then number eight, the last one, the floors are washed every day. A or P? Very good, right? It is letter P, okay? Right, so in here it's talking about when we know this one is passive and when we know this one is active. It's very easy, okay? When you have seen the sentence that consists with be and participle, it is must to be a passive sentence, okay? But if it just only to be and there is no verb 3 or no participle like it's verb ing, it is not a passive sentence. It is going to be the present or the active sentence, okay? This is how we're gonna getting note about this point, okay? Right. So everyone, right now it also time's up, and goodbye everyone. See you tomorrow. Goodbye.